So I decided to do this speech in an American accent. It should be easier for everyone, maybe easier for me anyway. If you can't understand me, I taught Lauren to speak American when she was a child. And she's good, so she can translate, she can do it all. I'm Mike Egan. I'm one of John's very many American friends. Okay? When I heard of his passing, I was contacted by an awful lot of Americans. And I think Andrea and Lauren were too. I'll do my best to represent them all, if I can. As she said, I met John in 1972 at RAF Woodbridge in Suffolk. I was a teacher on the Air Force Base, taught dependent military children. John's title was Host Nation Educational and Cultural Advisor. Really. He was the resident expert on all things British. He explained British culture basically to American students. He did this superbly. He did it in class, and he also organized field trips. He loved it, and the students really loved him. John and I very quickly became friends and roommates, and we lived in a series of hovels all around Suffolk. He took me in his Hillman Minx, and we traveled all over Suffolk, and we traveled all over England. And as Mike Webster said, probably had too many adventures to describe. But the best trips, the very best trips by far, were up here to Yorkshire. For me anyway. John loved it here. He was a Yorkshire person. He loved it here. And he was thrilled to show it off. We tramped through dozens of towns, villages, climbed to the top of Beverley Minster, drove every inch of the Yorkshire Dales. I saw a lot. After 3 years, we eventually moved in different directions. John got married, moved back to Yorkshire. I went to Belgium, Iceland, the US, and eventually moved back to Suffolk. Amazingly, our relationship was to last for over 40 years. Our families have been very close over the years. We visited each other often when we could. Most recently, my wife Annette and I went to Skulls in the year 2013. Andrea and John came to Washington in the fall of that year. We've kept it very, very close. Okay. My wife, my daughters, and I love England. This is down to John. We love everything about it. Well, your government might need a little work, and some of you eat Marmite. But everything else we love. We are Anglophobes completely. And it is largely down to John. He remained a cultural advisor all of his life. We now live in the U.S., but John's influence has made it pretty impossible for me to return to the U.S. as a normal American. We watch BBC on satellite. I read The Guardian online every day. I do. I stay in touch with Britain as much as I can. You don't believe me, Lauren. When I speak to Americans, and I have this nice accent, they think I'm one of them. I'm not quite. Not quite anymore. I can talk baseball. I can discuss Donald Trump if I have to. But they don't know that I'm sneakily viewing them through English eyes. Why do they talk so loud? Why do they eat so much junk food? Why don't they have an NHS? Can't understand. It's the opposite when I speak to English people. Okay? They think I'm just another Yank. But I'm not. I'm almost one of them. I'm almost one of you. I don't sound like it. It's hard to convince them. I guess I could pull out my card showing I'm a paid-up member of the Liberal Democrat Party, as John was. I'm told there aren't very many of us after the last election. I'll hang in there. I can take this one step further, too. Thanks to John, I'm not only almost English, I'm almost Yorkshire. At least I feel like it. Again, impossible to prove. I could sing by Oakley Moore Bartat. You wouldn't like that very well. I could discuss the reasons Hull City were relegated. You wouldn't like that at all. I know some good football chants that John taught me. I usually start with, "Who's your father?" From there. And I know where to find good ship buddies in Leeds. Okay, I don't eat them, but I know what they are. And most Americans don't. Okay, the point is, for a long time, John's taught me a lot. For the last 6 years in the States, anything that went on in England, I emailed him about. And I valued his opinion. And this happened on a weekly basis, sometimes more often than that. Now I'm going to be forced to think on my own, I guess. John taught me a lot more than British culture, finally. He demonstrated how to be a wonderful husband. He definitely showed me how to be the perfect, doting father. Showed me every day how to be a positive, friendly, gentle, caring individual. And he taught me how to be a fantastic friend. I'll miss him a lot. And I suspect a lot of you will too.